All right. And if you do want to say instead of Twitch offline chat, that's how you get emotes up on the emote wall. Let me be right back, though. I have to go to the bathroom as people come in. Be right back. All right, let's go.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is a response to a creator called Patience Xina. Not sure if it's Gina or Xina. I haven't seen it pronounced anywhere, so I'm just gonna call her Patience from here on out. Hope that's okay. The video is titled, "Why Does Hollywood Keep Doing This?" and concerns the recent controversies surrounding the casting of the actress and singer Halle Bailey for the role of Ariel, a previously white red-headed mermaid character.
Wait, that's her name? Halle Bailey? Are they the daughter of Halle Berry?
In Disney's upcoming live-action remake of their 1989 film, The Little Mermaid. Before I get into the video, I'd like to go through a little disclaimer here if you guys don't mind. If you guys do mind, sorry, because I'm doing it anyway. So when it comes to political critique on YouTube, a good general rule is to only respond to creators that are larger than you. The reason being that their ideas are usually getting as much or more traction than yours and are therefore more worthy of response and debunking. It also limits the possibility of smaller channels being dogpiled by the larger channel's viewers. Patience has a smaller channel compared to mine. She's currently sitting around 70,000 subscribers at the time of writing. However, the reason I've decided against applying this rule here is because I don't think that will be the case for long. For one thing, her videos are consistently overperforming relative
to... listen to this. I hate that philosophy so much. Isn't that interesting? I've hated that for so long. And there's been many a discussion on like Steven's stream amongst other streams about this. That philosophy is so cringe. I only respond to people larger than me because those are the people whose voices matter more than mine. So it makes sense for me to respond. It's just an easy way to justify clout farming. That's what it is. That's all it is. It's an easy way to justify clout farming. Like, oh, I don't have to respond to that person that's making a terrible ethical argument. I don't have to do that because their channel's smaller than mine. Oh my God, it's the most infuriating shit in the world. Oh yeah, they're saying terrible shit? Who cares? Who cares? They're smaller than me, so it doesn't matter. Like, what? Ah, it's so cringe. Why do I dislike this dude so much? I don't know. You tell me. I dislike him for specific reasons. Yeah, this person's about to, like, yeah, and here he is just, that's exactly what he's saying. This person isn't big right now, but they're getting a lot of traction, so I can get some clout from it. I mean, so they're clearly a threat? I don't know. So this person imposes a ethical threat, right, to, I don't know, our society, but Hassan can't respond to her because he's too big? Like, what is this fucking retarded shit? I'm sorry, I need to stop saying the R word. It's starting to become infectious. I apologize. I actually do apologize, genuinely. Well, it kind of makes sense if they're too small of a content creator, then responding to them is kind of useless, like 5 to 10K subs. No, I don't really agree. I think it completely depends on what they're saying. But, yeah, but that would be a truly, a truly small number. But that's not how these things work. We're talking about, like, are they smaller than me? Like, he's doing the Andrew Tate thing. Anybody that makes less... There must be a lab-grade cloning machine that uses Hassan Piker's spit in a petri dish to form shitty lefties with whiny cadence and pervy stashes. Thank you, Caleb, for the $5 for that absolutely base dono. Don't know this dude, but getting a lot of cringe from the virtue signaling. Yep, get used to it. But the point for me is that there's a certain level that people hit that everybody should be able to or feel comfortable responding to because they pose an ethical threat. I hate the idea of if they're equal or smaller than me, then no go. We always have to go larger. That shit is stupid. That leaves so many, like, you're just hoping that other people do that shit. What you should do is you should go, I can make an argument against somebody that is garnering a viewership or garnering some kind of public support, and so and they're pushing something unethical, and I should respond. That's what it should be, right? If I get linked to somebody that's out here like, yeah, Jews are fucking cringe, they're terrible people, and I have the ability to respond, and I find that to be unethical, then I should respond. And I should go, yeah, you know what? This person's pretty fucking cringe. Let me tell you why.
Subscriber count. The video we're looking at today has almost 800,000 views, so the ideas presented here are getting traction. Mainly though, just a few weeks ago, she posted her 10,000 subscriber Q&A, and again, she's currently at 70. If she continues on this growth path, which I believe she will, she'll be a very large channel relatively soon. So before that happens, I'd like to take the opportunity to do what I hope will be understood as levying a good faith critique of her work, because the larger one gets on YouTube, generally speaking, the less willing they are to engage with criticism. Patience wrote a post on her...
I wonder why. Maybe it's for the exact reason that you kind of just described, where they become too big to fail, and then they just start ignoring criticism from anybody smaller than them. It doesn't really make any sense. It's also, notice how it's a one-way, like, door for them, right? I, as a smaller creator, will only criticize larger creators. But by your own system, if I'm a larger creator, I'm not going to respond to criticism from smaller creators. So it is literally, clout for me, but not for thee. This was the whole discourse about the original purveyor of this was, of course, you guessed it, Hassan Piker. And so we had a discussion as to the ethics of this, where it's like, yeah, Hassan is over here like trying to go at these large content creators for clout, but then as soon as there's a smaller content creator that tries to criticize him, he goes, they're too small for me to even entertain the recognition of. You're literally closing the pearly gates behind you. But anyway. Looking at this guy's virtue signaling, it's probably less for clout trucking, more for not wanting to look like he is punching down and all that cringe stuff. Yeah, I think you having that opinion is fair, for sure.
Community tab a few days ago, it reads, the random comments calling me far right are hilarious. This is why you should avoid echo chambers, folks. They'll make you angry and kooky. So clearly, Patience is no fan of echo chambers. She has no patience for them, sorry. If that is the case, I'd like to think that criticism should be welcomed, but I suppose we will see. Regardless, I hope it goes without saying that if you're going to engage with her in any way, only do so if you're going to be constructive. Thank you. All right, that's enough of my deranged ramblings. Let's get into the video. I've left Patience's video linked in the description. I would encourage you to go watch it before you watch this so you can be sure I'm not misrepresenting her arguments. If you're short on time, though, I'll try my best to include all the relevant clips.
Damn, I really should have watched the original fucking thing because this nigga fucking sucks at reviewing content. Like, he is ass at it. Terrible. He reviewed, what was it? His It's Complicated channel review. The entire review he did of the It's Complicated channel, this, was it this one? Yeah, Incel Street Reviews. This one, the whole 25-minute video of an entire channel's content was done off of a single video. He only watched one video off of their channel. He only reviewed one video on their channel, and he did an entire channel review of them. It was fucking dog shit. Absolute dog shit.
The Little Mermaid
Oh, it's only 15 minutes, thank Allah.
is white, not black.
Really, people? We're doing this again? Huh? She looks nothing like they both have the tail, huh? They both have the red. She looks nothing like her. How do I even know that she's a mermaid? Once again, a bunch of internet racists are upset that a fictional character is being played by a black person. And honestly, I don't know what the big deal is.
Hello darling, welcome to another Wednesday deep dive. Today's actually quite a spontaneous video. I had a completely different video in mind.
So let me stake my position on this, because I don't think I've ever stated my position pretty formally on this Little Mermaid thing. I think it's fine to be upset about the change. I think that's fine to be upset about the change. I have no issue with that. The issue that I have is where we like make it super. I hate to say I'm gonna be this dude. I hate it. I don't want it to make it like super political in the sense that like, oh, they're changing it because they're erasing white people and shit like that. Like, if you wanted the Little Mermaid to be as you remembered it as a kid, which is a white woman, I think it's fine to be upset by that. But I also don't think that this is like a we're going after all the white people thing. Maybe it is, but I don't really think that's what it was about. They just decided to go for it. Like, I would be pretty upset if they changed Nick Fury to be white. I'd be pretty upset, even though I think originally he was white, right? I don't remember. I think originally he was white, and then there was a version of him that was black. But either way, both? No, I'm pretty sure he was originally white. But either way, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'd be pretty upset. So, yeah. I wouldn't say that they're erasing black people or whatever, but
for this week, but I've been seeing a lot of the discourse that's been happening around the new Little Mermaid film.
Is it who cares what color they are unless it's done properly or poorly? No, I think it matters to people. I think it reasonably does matter to people. Like, if it doesn't matter to you, that's fine, but getting attached to a character as it's been represented to you in your childhood is pretty important. Like, let me give a different example. I would be upset if, I was going to say an Asian character, but unfortunately a lot of Asian characters in, like, older stories, especially, like, comic books and shit, their whole character is attached to them being Asian. Like, it's not just, like, they're an Asian character. It's that they're an Asian character. Like, they have their whole, like, it's a whole thing. So, I'm trying to think of, like, a character. Can anybody think of one? What if Goku was black? Yeah, there's an example. Like, what if Goku was black? Or what if Goku was Hispanic? It'd be like, I mean, come on. Like, you know, kind of a ridiculous example, but what is Black Panther was a white dude all of a sudden? Yeah, but again, I feel like that example is necessary for Black Panther to be black, right? It's not necessary for the Little Mermaid to be white, nor is it necessary for Nick Fury to be black. It's just like it's cool to see like a black character on screen. That is a cool thing. So yeah, I can see people getting upset by that and be like, "Oh man, that kind of sucks." But like making it a whole like this is a fucking insane leftist, like, dude, it's like, come on, man, chill.
Halle Bailey.
What about Snow White? You got Snow Midnight? Is that what you're looking for, dude?
I have to actively think about her name because it sounds so similar to Halle
Black
Berry.
Captain America? Well, they did have the like meme Black. I don't think Black Captain America. I mean, I'd like Black Captain America. I'd like Asian Captain America. I think that would be fine. The only problem is it gets a bit sticky with like. Were Asian men allowed in the military in America in World War II? Japanese men weren't, right? Were they? Not Japanese men, right? Or were they? Fuck, I actually don't remember.
And so my brain wants me to say Halle Bailey. Okay, I'm probably going to mess that up at some point, but bear with me. So yeah, a lot of people have been talking about the new Little Mermaid film, and there's a lot of discussions on both sides. Some people are really upset about the...
If there was a Middle Eastern Captain America, people would fucking, like, Jesus, they would lose their minds. They made the Captain Marvel OG black character white in the MCU and made the actual black hero from the comic a support. Captain Marvel was black originally? I don't think that's true, is it?
fact that they've race swapped her. Some people are happy about the fact that they've race swapped her. I actually have some opinions on this particular topic of race swapping, and so I thought I would share my 2 cents on the subject. I do think that
Asian Blade would hit different. Listen, I'm not the biggest like Blade enthusiast, but isn't being black like critical to Blade? I thought it was. Isn't it?
within the mainstream, it's lacking.
The OG Captain Marvel was black? No? Yes, a black vampire? It is thematic. What about Orange Thanos? What? Here's the splash page. Ah, shit, really? Call her Captain Marvel. So this is the OG Captain Marvel, huh? Yo, she kind of bad, though. Kind of upset we didn't get one of those.
The discussion is lacking a lot of nuance, and it seems like the summary...
Hey, yo, really? Do you play D&D? Absolutely.
...of the takes that I've seen so far is very much race swapping good. If you
no, that's the third Marvel. Nigga, I don't care anymore. I don't care. I don't give a fuck, bro. The only thing I give a fuck about is you hitting that goddamn like button, okay? We got 210 people in the arena and we only got 42 likes. How's that possible? We got to pump that up. At least 80, right? At least 80. It's got to be at least 80. Come on, man. We got to juice those numbers. Juice them!
Bad.
Already did? No, you didn't! Get on your second account. Arguing comics will go nowhere, of course. So let's just stick on what we got.
You bigot. And I have a lot of issues with this for a number of reasons. The main reason is because I think that the argument that everybody who disagrees with this race swap is a racist is incredibly lazy. Unfortunately, it seems like nowadays we're living in a time where people don't care to understand people with different views to their own. It seems like if someone disagrees with you, the quickest way to shut them up is to call them some kind of phobic or some kind of ism. Nuance seems to be dying on the internet, and it's very sad and it's very depressing because I think that this topic, I can understand both sides of it, and I think that the solution is actually very strong.
Hold on. I need to clout farm and juice. What's their name? Patience Xina fights Noah Samsen. I'm pretty sure this was done to stir up attention for the live action remake, and considering they have bad track record with LA, I fear they will lose the race card for a bad movie. What do you mean? What do you mean they'll lose the race card for a bad movie? All right, this might be made into a YouTube video, so be on your best behavior, chat. Best behavior.
Straightforward, and I don't think people need to be even arguing about it, in my personal opinion. So I'm going to share my observations as to why the two sides have the views that they have and how we can meet in the middle. Now, this side of the debate is a lot more complicated.
What the fuck was that?
Middle.
What the fuck? What is this 2002 graphic?
Now, this side of the debate is a lot more complicated than I think people wish it was. People seem to really like to oversimplify it by simply saying, those who disagree with this are racist. And as I said before, I think this explanation is beyond lazy. And the reason for that is because, first of all, it's not just white people or non-black people who disagree with this race swapping that Hollywood keeps doing. There are also a lot of black people who are very frustrated and irritated by the fact that Hollywood keeps race swapping. So to just brand everyone who disagrees with this decision as racist and to assume that all of them are white is very ignorant, in my opinion. Not only is this explanation lazy, but it also doesn't make a lot of sense, because if you truly believe the only reason why people would be upset with this race swap is because they're racist, and your idea is that people just don't want to see a black mermaid or don't want to support a black Disney film, then why is it that other Disney films that star non-white characters...
They're saying movie makers are using the race card as a defense against critiques? Oh yeah, I've seen that shit. That shit is fucking ass. I've seen that for sure. That 100% happens. But I've also seen the opposite. I've seen a lot of fucking loser degenerates make excuses for why movies suck because it's woke. I saw so many people make excuses for the Star Wars trilogy being ass because... like they tried to go woke with Rey. That's not why. The fucking story of was it 7, 8, and 9 Star Wars was not ass because a woman was the MC. It's because the story was just fucking ass, bro. This shit was garbage on its own. Are you making fun of transitions, Mr. Clip Streamer? Yes.
Non-white Western cultural
7 was good. Hot take. No, Rogue One was good. No other like modern Star Wars movie was good.
Within the plot have been massive successes. Why was
Rogue One was very
a success?
good.
Why was Encanto a success? Why was The Princess and the Frog a success? Why was Mulan a success? Why was The Emperor's New Groove films? Why were they a success? I could go on and on, because this is not the first time that Hollywood has made a non-white character be the lead. And not only have they made non-white characters be the lead, but they've also done stories that centered around non-white Western culture. And these were major successes. So how is that so if people are raging racists? The answer is, it's not so. People who dislike this race swap are not disliking it because they're racist. They're disliking it for a number of other reasons. And those are the reasons I'm going to discuss now. The first explanation is that human beings are just very sentimental creatures. We build attachments to people, to things, and also to fictional characters. Women and girls, like females in general, tend to be the biggest people who do this. I mean, remember that whole Team Edward versus Team Jacob thing? I'm convinced that we lost our minds for a brief period of time during that Twilight era. But stuff like that just kind of shows you how much people build attachments to things. And so we don't really like it when people tamper with our favorite characters in any way. Oh my God, I've just remembered something. Do you remember when it was initially announced that Robert Pattinson would be playing the role of Edward Cullen? Twilight fans lost their minds. They were so angry because they didn't want him to play Edward. And the crazy thing is, he wasn't even being recast. They were just angry because he didn't match the image they had created in their heads of what Edward looked like from reading the books. So imagine that's how people react when a character hasn't even been cast or established yet in the real world, let alone when it already has. Even if you're not changing their race, any type of change can be a problem because people just simply don't like it when you tamper with characters. Examples of this I can think of is in the UK. There's this really popular TV show called The EastEnders.
So, I mean, I agree with her, at least on this point. It was the point that I made leading into this, right? Is that if people want to be upset because they are sentimental, they're holding on to some idea of something that was the case. And a part of that is their fucking race. A part of that is their fucking hairstyle, let alone their hair color. The way that they walk or described her as walking and shit. It can be sentimental, but...
And the EastEnders used to get into a lot of heat every single time they would recast characters because they did it fairly often. There's been so many characters that when I used to watch it, I don't know how the show is now, but there were so many characters that they recast and people didn't like it. The people they were recast with looked very similar. They were the same race, whatever, but people just were not happy about it. Other examples from the US of this is when they recast Aunt Viv in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That didn't go over too well. Or when they recast Claire in My Wife and Kids. That also didn't go over too well. People were not impressed when they changed Aunt Viv and when they changed Claire. People don't like it when you recast characters. Not only that, but people also don't like it when one of their favorite cast members leaves the show. So for example, I'm sure there's at least one show in your life that you really loved, and then one of the characters was either recast or they left the show, and I'm positive that you weren't very impressed by it. So in general, because...
Yeah, dude. Fucking Jesus Christ. Oh no, dude. I'm having PTSD, bro.
Because of how sentimental we are, when we fall in love with things, we want them to stay exactly as they were when we first fell in love with them. And so we don't like it when people start changing them or start tampering with them. Not only are we...
Lane Price from Mad Men, dude. What an absolute top G. And he left the show, man. Fucking feels bad, man. Lane Price from Mad Men. My heart always fucking breaks. God, that's such a good character in that show.
Super sentimental.
He's like my favorite character in the whole fucking show, and he's only there for a small time.
Sentimental, and hate it when any of our favorite fictional characters are tampered with or changed in any way. But this feeling becomes magnified by 100 when you add in the extra component of nostalgia. For example, over here in the UK, Bob the Builder was really popular when I was a kid, and most of us grew up with Bob the Builder looking like this. Now, in recent times, Bob's had a bit of a cheeky makeover, and so now Bob looks like this. And they were like 30-something-year-olds who were very upset by this and were just like, that's not my Bob. Still the same race, still the same Bob the Builder, but a different face, and people hated it because this is not the Bob the Builder that they grew up with. When you add in the extra component of nostalgia, it becomes a lot more messy because now you're messing with people's childhood memories. You're now messing with people's childhood. People grew up watching Ariel be a white girl with red hair. She's looked like that since 1989. She's older than me. This is the girl that they grew up with as kids. They probably had posters of her in their room. Their duvet covers and stuff was probably of her. Their pencil case, their lunchbox. Like all of these things of Ariel looking a certain way, and that's how they remember her. That's the childhood memory of Ariel that they have, was a white girl with red hair. And so not only are they going to be upset when you change her features, I can promise you right now, if they had recast Ariel as a blonde girl, people would have been just as upset. It's got nothing to do with the fact that the new Ariel...
Yeah, but I was thinking about that myself, but like, I think, chat, you can agree with me, right? Her red hair is far more intrinsic to her character than her race. Can we agree with that? Like, her red hair is iconic. It is like what makes the character. Like, damn near. No shot? Really? Maybe you're responding to the other thing. I think her red hair is what makes her like her. Like her red hair is like the character. Yeah, sorta. No, red is true. As a gender, no shot. Really? To the Disney version of the story, yeah. Isn't it bright hair plus pale skin? Maybe. I could see an argument for it. The juxtaposition between those things. I could see that argument. But I think the red hair cannot change. I think the red hair can't change. If they cast her as white and blonde, there wouldn't be the counter jerk calling them racist. Well, yeah, because they'd be white. Wait, what was that supposed to prove? As an artist, the color combo, white and pale skin and bright red hair. But I don't know if that's the iconic bit. You could say that that's like, whatever. Like that's a part of it. But so what's your opinion on the Black Elves controversy and the Rings of Power show? I don't have enough surrounding context to know how impossible it is with the idea that Black Elves would exist. But just the existence of Black Elves don't bother me. But yeah, I don't know. Like I don't have enough lore for that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how impossible that would be if that like shits on the whole lore of elves in general in Lodor. The counter jerk causes both sides to fight a lot more. If it's one-sided, it doesn't become a big issue. Sure. It's probably true.
Black. It's everything to do with the fact that the new Ariel doesn't look like the original. It doesn't matter how you would have changed her features. As long as she doesn't look like the original, people would have lost their minds, as I've just shown you with all these other examples of recasts that didn't go over too well, even if they were still within the same race. Because people don't like it when you change.
But the problem is we can look online. Isn't there literally people saying it's the woke left mob trying to change it? Aren't there at least a little bit of people like really politicizing this in I'm not trying to say in an unjustified way. Like, come on, guys. I'm not stupid. I know why they made her black. Of all the races they could have chose, I know why they made her black. But like, so I'm not like alien to the idea that it's definitely political. But like, the idea that there isn't anger because of the politics of it kind of isn't true. Like, there wouldn't be as much pushback with the hair. I think there might be as much, because I think that I would be annoyed personally. I don't give a fuck about the Little Mermaid. I don't care. But if I heard the Little Mermaid didn't have red hair, I'd be like, bro, that's kind of cringe. I'd be upset by that.
Change their favorite characters, especially if that's the character that they grew up with and that's the character that they've known throughout their whole childhood. And if Ariel's looked like that since 1989, she's a lot of people's childhood. That's a lot of people you've just pissed off with your decision to race swap. And the last component that I've noticed for why people dislike these race swaps is that I've noticed that as Hollywood strives to become more inclusive, they've decided that red-haired female characters are going to be their collateral damage. And what I mean by that is every time we have new black representation, we lose red-haired white women's representation. So, for example, with the new Tom Holland Spider-Man films, where the new Mary Jane is no longer a red-haired white woman, she is now played by Zendaya, and so she's.
Is this the redhead? Is this the redhead conspiracy?
We had the same situation with Annie. There are also some other comic book characters, some classic comic book characters who are redheads who have now been replaced by black women. And so the Little Mermaid Ariel seems to be the new addition
the ginger
to this,
side
trend that Hollywood seems to be doing. So it seems as though as we black women get more representation, women with red hair seem to keep losing theirs. And I think that this is...
You know what's being lost right now? The like to viewer ratio. That's crazy. We're getting lost in the sauce. I need more likes on the video. We need closer numbers on these like to viewer ratios. Also, if you'd like to help donate to the stream, that'd be much appreciated. I'm going to do a really quick PSA because I do want to make this a YouTube video. So I'm going to do a quick PSA on the stuff. I'm going to try and get a form system for the Game Pass giveaway. So that way I can have a couple days where people can sign up to the form and then submit it, so that way they can enter a chance to be able to win a 1 month of Xbox Game Pass. I have 12 1-month Xbox Game Pass passes. All right. And essentially what Xbox Game Pass is it works on PC as for PC games, even though it says Xbox. Xbox Game Pass is a service similar to Netflix, but for video games. So it has a roster of video games that are available to you at any given time. You just download and play them, and all for a $10 a month, or if it's your first month, I believe they still have a $1 a month promotion. But I will be giving away 12 free 1 month passes. They were provided to me by Xbox employees when I went to TwitchCon. They were very nice people. I just told them I had a stream and I wanted to give some away because I believe in their product. And they're like, here, and they gave me 12 to give away on stream. So that's going to be the thing. I'm going to set up a forum. I'm going to announce it inside of my Discord. I'm going to post it inside of my Discord. And I'm going to remind people inside of Twitch chat. Obviously, no purchase necessary or whatever, because then it's like illegal or some shit. But either way, it doesn't matter. I want to give them away for free. And the reason, and I'm going to be giving them away in roughly 6 to 7 days. And the reason why is because informed that Dark Tide is going to be available day one on Game Pass, and I want to give everybody, all of those 12 people, an opportunity to play that game. So if you want to play Warhammer 40k Dark Tide, which is a very fun hack and slash game made by the same creators of Vermintide 2, then you have the opportunity to do that. None of that is paid. None of this is paid in any way, but I did get the passes for free from an Xbox employee. I just really love the product. I believe in the product. It's a great product. All right, back to the video.
Probably one of the biggest issues.
Calendar,
well
thank you for
some
becoming a
women
member.
who grew up on Ariel.
Wait, a tier 2 member? Wow, soy, a tier 2 member. Thank you, Calendar.
Ariel was the only Disney princess with red hair. There was no other Disney princess with red hair when I was a kid, and so there were a lot of girls with red hair who looked up to Ariel because she was their only representation. She was their only Disney princess. And so, you know, for a lot of girls, Ariel's a very meaningful, impactful character.
Thank you for that support.
Because they were able to see themselves. Because the blondes have many to choose from. Okay, they grew up with Cinderella, Aurora, Rapunzel. You know, they weren't struggling for options of representation. Whereas the redheads, they only had Ariel.
Dude, I just realized that Cinderella and Rapunzel aren't the same person. For some reason in my mind, I thought Cinderella and Rapunzel were the same character. What the fuck?
Ariel. And now they've had to lose her. And it's kind of sad because if you're a woman with red hair, Ariel is the one Disney princess that looked like you as a kid. And now you have to sacrifice her. Otherwise, if you don't celebrate the fact that you've lost her, then you are now deemed as a racist. So they're essentially having to celebrate their own erasure in order to come across as open-minded and inclusive and progressive. And it's messed up. Imagine being put in a situation where you're forced to celebrate your own representation being erased in order for you to be deemed as being on the right side of history. Now, of course, I'm very empathetic to the people who are celebrating this race swap. I completely understand why they are. You know, growing up in the Western world, one of the things that comes with being a minority is that you are going to be represented less in the media. Of course, that is changing a lot now. There's far, far more representation than there ever has been.
Racist.
But the people who grew up loving these Disney princesses and never really seeing themselves represented, I think those feelings of
chill, bro.
exclusion still linger in some people, and so when they see themselves
Erasure, except Ariel exists. Erasure definitely wasn't the optimal word for optics to be able to use there, but I think what they mean is like erasure of their representation. Like if you're a white woman who has red hair, you're not really represented anymore with The Little Mermaid. And so, you know, it can feel a little rough for you. Granted, I don't think those are the people that are getting mad on Twitter and shit and Facebook. I don't think it's white women with red hair, but yeah.
Presented as maybe their favorite childhood Disney princess, they get really happy about it, and so that's why I think they're celebrating this and are excited about it. They want to see these classically white characters being portrayed as a character that looks like them. And I've also seen a lot of really cute videos online of young black girls reacting to the trailer and being really excited because Ariel looks like them. And I think that things like that kind of really show you why representation means so much to children and why representation is something that people actively are trying to encourage.
What is
So where exactly
who is
do we go
doing
from
these?
here? I think that the
PowerPoint
success that
things?
Disney has had when they have written non-white leads and also dabbled into non-white Western culture-centered plots for their movies, and the success that they've had with those stories and with those films shows that Disney knows that they can create non-white leads and create non-white princesses and still be successful.
I don't know why this video got so many views. I can understand what it... So, I'm going to say something that's a bit controversial. Maybe it's a little bit insensitive to say, but I think it's true. So, I think they did a pretty good job. Like I said, I agreed with some of their points and shit like that. But a big reason why is because she's a black woman. That's point blank period. A lot of people want to be able to point out a black woman and say, look, she agrees with me that I'm right to be upset at a black woman replacing Ariel. So there's a lot of people that'll like look at this and feel vindicated in their opinion on this shit. So yeah, this isn't to say her opinions aren't her own. I think she has decent opinions here. I don't know why Noah Samsen felt like this was such a crazy video, and we'll get to his response video. We'll dive into it. But yeah, that's a part of the reason why. Yeah, the Candace Owens effect. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Look, I'm not racist. A black woman is saying it. Kind of a thing. You could make so much money by becoming a conservative. I fully believe I could make fucking a ridiculous amount of money becoming a conservative. It's so easy to argue against so many leftist points, even from a conservative perspective, let alone a SOCDEM perspective. Oh my God, it's so easy. So many lefties are just so fucking stupid. I would just rake in cash. And especially with me being young as well. Oh my God, a young black man. Oh my God, who knows his way around debate? Oh God, the money. But too bad. I have a fucking backbone.
So I don't quite know why they don't do it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Disney, if you can create all of these films, and you can also create TV shows like this, and those be successful, and movies like Black Panther, which featured 99.999% of a black cast and broke records for its success, there is no excuse anymore to not write original black Disney princesses. I have no idea why Disney continues to recycle and give us leftovers. Why do they keep doing this? I have no idea, and I think it's disappointing that we keep giving them credit for doing the bare minimum. To the black people who...
I agree with this point as well. I agree. Instead of making an old white character black because you want representation, make a new character. You guys, I agree with her. There is a clear track record to having the IPs be successful, new Disney IPs being successful. There isn't an excuse to not make a new character. Make it a new character. Come on now. Why not?
celebrate these race swaps.
It was not 99.9% black. You know what the fuck she meant.
Demand more from these filmmakers, because if they can use their creativity and be original when they...
Yeah, right. No, you couldn't do conservative RP right now if you're so bad.
Write stories like Moana or write stories like Encanto, then why do you not demand the same for your own black representation?
There is risk. I agree there's risk. But I also agree with the idea that it's very cheap and cringe to just turn old characters black and be like, here's your representation. That shit is cringe to me. Shit is super cringe. I don't feel that way about certain characters that have been, depicted as black. Right? You want to talk about Captain Marvel, whether or not Captain Marvel was originally black. There was a version of Captain Marvel that was black. Just going like, yeah, we're going to go with this version that was black. Hey, listen, man, you want to do that? Do that. Like, same with Nick Fury. Nick Fury wasn't originally black, but in the MCU, they went with black Nick Fury. All right, that's cool. But, like, just going like, oh, yeah, by the way, this person that was, like, never black, they're black now. That's like, feels a little bit cringe to me, bro.
Why should we not also have original?
But of course, it had to happen at some point, for it to be cool. The seal was broken.
Stories, just like other people get to have original stories, which is brilliant because I support that. Because all of the successes of these other films shows us that universally, everybody is happy to support a good Disney film, provided the story is original and good. So had they simply just created a new black princess and given her her own original story, people would have been very supportive of it. But they chose not to do that. They just keep choosing to recycle already pre-existing characters just so they can do their performative pandering. And I think it's time for us to stop celebrating that. There's really no reason why we should be celebrating this. I think it's really annoying because I do agree that representation matters, and I think it is beautiful to see the reactions of young black girls seeing themselves represented.
Holy shit, we need Idris Elba as Thanos.
As Disney princesses. And I think they should absolutely have that. But it should be done properly. And this isn't the way to do it properly. Leave the redheads alone, allow the redheads to keep their representation, and create new black...
I don't think... It's Jay's sidekick. I'm not saying they have to be depicted as they were originally created. I literally just got done saying, I think Nick Fury being black is cool. Nick Fury was not originally black, by my understanding. All right? It's about whether or not they're just, in my opinion, just race swapping a character right now. Like, they can do that. I don't really have a huge problem with it. But I agree with her that I would prefer a new IP. In general, that's how I would prefer it. I prefer new IPs to be able to have new races of characters or have representation if that's all you want. right? If that's all you want is representation, I would prefer new IPs.
Disney princesses. There are so many black mythologies and black folklore from African cultures or even Caribbean.
He was race swapped in a specific comic line, so people were somewhat primed for it. Yeah, exactly. And if you want to use that argument of, hey, in the past they were able to race swap, so then why can't we race swap right now, especially when it's more socially acceptable? That's fine. But genuinely, a part of the reason why I like the idea of past race swaps being used now in comparison to just race swapping now is because it was more controversial to do that shit before. Like you were actually taking a risk doing some of these things. You were, you know, wading into a market with some of these characters. You were attaching yourself to a community. Now it feels a lot less. It feels just safe is what it feels like. Just fucking race swap the character, and if we get blowback for it, just say they're all racist. Like, that feels so cringe. It feels so soy to me. In comparison to in the past, when having a race-swapped character was fucking dangerous. You know, that was risky to do, which is cool. So I thought it was cool.
Cultures that you could adapt into original Disney movies. But those stories will sit on the back burner and just completely rot away whilst you choose.
Dude, Idris Elba as James Bond should have been a thing. They fumbled the bag so fucking hard. I would have watched every single one of those movies if Idris Elba was James Bond, dude. That shit would have been fucking crazy, bro. Dude, oh my God. That would have been so great. I was so upset. Oh, man, I was mad.
To race swap stories.
He was too old. He was definitely too old. He would have only been able to do 2, maybe 3 movies. He's how old is he? He is too old though. Idris Elba. He's 50, bro. He's fucking 50, dude. There is no way my homie's like jumping out of helicopters and shit. Wait, how old is who's the guy from Mission Impossible? Super famous guy. Fuck, who is he? Tom Cruise, there it is. Fuck. How old is he? He's 60! No, okay, alright, I guess it's possible then. Damn! Tom Cruise been doing them shit. That nigga's 60. He looks good. He looks good, bro. Ain't no doubt. My boy looks 42.
No one asked you to. And I think it's time that we stop celebrating it because it's not good enough. Representation is important, yes, but it should be done properly, and this is not doing it properly. Justice
60 and does 60 and does his own stunts. Then Alba at 50, if he doesn't do his own stunts, he should be able to play James Bond, 100%. So we're back to square one. They're cringe.
Okay, let them keep their representation. I really hope you enjoyed this little spontaneous rant.
Okay, I want to see what Noah Samsen has to say about this video.
I don't allow Hollywood to keep baiting you into racial debates because this really doesn't have to be about race. At the core of this issue, this is about.
Oh, come on, bro. Come on, what? It's literally the only thing that changed was race.
Hollywood's laziness.
We literally controlled for all of the variables, right? Come on, man.
And their lack of innovation to create new classics, because that's what they should be doing. They should be creating new classics and not recycling old ones. And those of you who have the argument that race swapping is fine and it's a fictional character, so who cares? I hope you keep that same energy if they decided to make Black Panther white, because something tells me you wouldn't be.
Well, no, it's not. Black Panther. Stop! It's not the same. Black Panther has to be black. Ariel does not have to be white. Right? Black Panther's lore is that they are black. Okay? These are not comparable. Again, something more comparable is Nick Fury. That is a more comparable thing. A more comparable thing would be, again, I don't know if Blade is necessary, like has to be black by lore, but maybe Blade. Yo, what's up, Sanzo?
You have to be fair, but that's all now. If I keep going, I won't stop talking. So thank you very much for.
Didn't they do the same thing to Velma? Yeah, that shit was weird though. Shit was also kind of problematic to do that to to Shaggy, right? I feel like they turned Shaggy black too, didn't they? And like that shit was sus. But I'm glad they did it to Shaggy if they did it to Velma.
Enjoying this video. If you liked it, then do like and subscribe. I'm also on other socials if you want to check.
All right, let's take a look. What's the problem Noah Samsen has with this?
So in this video, Patience raises a number of points in support of her.
Yo, isn't Green Lantern supposed to be white? I think the original... Actually, was the original the black dude? No. It was the white dude, then he gives it to the black dude, right? Fuck. I don't remember.
Her main thesis that the backlash over Halle Bailey
Is there two different guys completely? Yeah, I think you're right. They were both in the Air Force, aren't they? Though?
casting as Ariel in the live-action Little Mermaid is, for the most part, justified. It's not motivated by racism, but by a number of valid reasons, which she goes on to outline.
This side of the debate is a lot more complicated than I think people wish it was. People seem to really like to oversimplify it by simply saying, those who disagree with this are racist. And as I said before,
would it be controversial for a Black Panther to be played by a mixed white passing actor, though? For other people, they would lose their fucking minds. But for me, no, I don't give a fuck. They'd be on some one-drop shit. Yeah, there'd be a bunch of Hotep black supremacist type motherfuckers come out of the woodwork if that nigga mixed. No way, I don't believe that. You telling me Black Panther is half white, half black? Some people don't come out of the woodwork. But to be fair, though, again, lore... Well, actually, you know what? I think I would mind that. Because lore-wise, I don't think that makes sense. No, they could spin it. Can they? Yeah, they could spin it, lore-wise. But, you know, he's supposed to be from Wakanda, right? So he's supposed to obviously have two black parents. But
I think this explanation is beyond lazy. People who dislike this race swap are not disliking it because they're racist. They're disliking it for a number of other reasons, and those are the reasons I'm going to discuss now.
Her conclusion, which is framed as a compromise of sorts, is that we need more standalone non-white stories instead of recasting white roles with non-white actors.
So had they simply just
wait, before we get too deep into this, I need people to like the video. I need that to happen really bad. The last time I shouted out for liking of the video, only 30 of you liked the video, which doesn't really make sense. That doesn't make any sense to me. I need more of you to like the fucking video. I need that to happen, right? We need to push at least 180. We need at least 180 before I push play again, okay? Nah? All right, I'll ban you. I'm gonna start banning people. I'm gonna check your accounts, and I'm gonna see if you like the damn video, and if you don't, I'm gonna start banning people inside of this fucking chat room, okay? Can't wait to see how this turd claims her points is wrong. Well, let's keep it with an open mind. As much as I dislike him, I dislike him as much as the next person, but keep an open mind. You could check. I can check. I liked lol. No, there's no way I can check. I can't check. Get that ass banned.
Created a new black princess and given her her own original story, people would have been very supportive of it. But they chose not to do that. They just keep choosing to recycle already pre-existing characters just so they can do their performative pandering. And I think it's time for us to stop celebrating that.
Before we address this conclusion and some of these reasons, I want to talk for a moment about bias. Throughout this video, Patience describes how this controversy over race swapping is not getting the nuance it deserves. She laments the way that the mainstream discourse surrounding it is driven by those who are labeling everyone that disagrees as racist.
I do think that within the mainstream, the discussion is lacking a lot of nuance. It seems like the summary of the takes that I've seen so far is very much race swapping good. If you disagree, bad, you bigot. And I have a lot of issues with this for a number of reasons.
At one point, she says that it's wrong how they're forcing redheads to celebrate their own erasure in the name of inclusivity.
If you were a woman with red hair, Ariel is the one Disney princess that looked like you as a kid. And now you have to sacrifice her. Otherwise, if you don't, celebrate the fact that you've lost her, then you are now deemed as a racist. So they're essentially having to celebrate their own erasure in order to come across as open-minded and inclusive and progressive. And it's messed up.
One question that I think is important we ask here
Let's ask it.
is this what's really going on? And if it is,
Sure.
who is saying this? Who is labeling everyone as racist and forcing redheads to celebrate their own erasure?
Sure.
In this video, Patience doesn't show anyone saying either of these things. She doesn't give any examples or cite any quotes where people are calling everyone racist. The only citation...
Wait, are we serious? Okay, genuinely, I could be wrong, but I'd have it a guess that is happening. Is Noah Samsen really saying to us, the audience, that if I wanted to, I can't go online right now and find tweets with thousands of likes saying that you're a racist bigot if you're really upset about The Little Mermaid changing? Is he trying to say this? Because I'll admit, I'll be a stand-up guy. I'll admit I haven't seen it, but I'd be willing to bet the house that I'm sitting in right now and every dollar that you can extract from it and every bit of property I have in it that I can absolutely find it. I can guarantee you I can find it.
Of any opposition to this backlash is the following clip, which she plays at the very start of her video.
Trevor Noah said it? Oh, yeah! Hey, yeah, you're right. Literally, the clip at the...
From The Daily Show with Trevor Noah.
The Little Mermaid is white, not black.
Really, people? We're doing this again? Huh? She looks nothing like nothing like... They both have the tail, huh? They both have the red... She looks nothing like her. How do I even know that she's a mermaid? Once again, a bunch of internet racists are upset that a fictional character is being played by a black person. And honestly, I don't know what the big deal is.
Hello, darling. Welcome to another Wednesday Deep Dive.
So Noah here is not saying that everyone who dislikes this casting choice is racist, nor is he saying that white redheads should be forced to love this casting at the expense of their own representation.
Okay, so what is he saying?
Far from it, later on in that same episode of The Daily Show, he responds with empathy to the notion that for little redhead white girls who saw themselves in the original film, things may be different in the new one.
No, but the Little Mermaid, she means so much, and I don't deny that. I don't deny that it must have been amazing for any redhead little girl to see the Little Mermaid. It must have been amazing. It's a beautiful experience. But the movie's still there. You get what I'm saying? It's not gone.
What Noah is saying here, though,
Wait, that doesn't contradict the original statement, though.
that racists on the internet were mad about this casting choice, which is true. Upon release of the trailer,
But he used an argument that wasn't racist to justify being mad at racists. So let me give you an example. Every single person that was upset at Nick Fury being cast as a black dude is racist. It's like, well, wait, that's not true. Maybe they had an attachment to the white version of Nick Fury. Oh, hold on. That's not what I said, okay? What I said was, every single person that is upset at Nick Fury being cast as a black dude for racist reasons is a racist. But that's not what he said. It's not what he said, though. He made a joke. Now, grant, it's a joke. But the butt of the joke is, if you mad about the race swap, then you're a bit racist. That's the gag. That was the joke. But all right, let's just read into this.
the hashtag #NotMyAriel began trending on Twitter. The hashtag was used to share racist comments and memes like these.
Of course it will be, but that doesn't mean that every single person who's upset about it.
Which date back to when Bailey's casting was first announced in 2019, but were recirculated when the new trailer was released in September. The YouTube video of the trailer was dislike bombed, with the current count at 3.2 million.
Woo! Damn!
Dislikes.
But wait. Hold on. Hold on. I want something noted right now. Noah Samsen is on a diatribe. Hold on. Well, let him finish. Let's let him finish.
Trailer was dislike bombed, with the current count at 3.2 million dislikes. You might say, well, Noah, that's not proof that people are being racist. Maybe out of all those 3.2 million people, 0 of them were disliking the video for racist reasons. And, well, I personally have a hard time believing that 3.2 million internet users can congregate anywhere without a significant portion of them being there for racist reasons. Not the 4chan Gamergate internet, not the N-word was trending on Twitter last week.
Wait, he's not joking? I thought it was a joke. He's being serious that he doesn't believe that many people can congregate with it. Okay.
But we can scratch that example. Fine, whatever. One of the most widely criticized examples of the sort of racism here.
Wait, he literally threw that in the video because he thought the dislike bomb was just genuinely over racism. Like that was a point of racism. Like unironically. What? And then he responded to the criticism of that and just straight up brought up 4chan existing as a reason why fucking 3.3 million people have to be racist to dislike that. That's insane. That's insane. Hold on. Now allow me to dig myself out of the little bit of a hole that I've dug myself into. Of course, many of those people are going to be doing it for racist reasons. Of course. How many? I don't know. But I think Patience's counter narrative is far more frequent. I think people are upset with a change to their character. I think people are upset with a change to their character that was what they feel was a part of the identity of the character, right? That they identified with the character. And race absolutely is a point of identity. That's why representation is important. That's why it matters. It's because it signifies some kind of identity that we can latch onto. So when you change that in any way, obviously you're going to make a couple of people mad. And when you're changing that about the most frequent, the largest group in Western civilization, white people, you're probably going to have a couple million people that are pretty upset. You're probably going to make a couple million people upset. And if there's some racist in there, which there genuinely is, then yeah, that's going to happen.
It was when a Twitter account used
yes, I did, rookie.
artificial intelligence to make Halle Bailey white. They CGI whitewashed a clip from the trailer. Many celebrated the work, hyping up the possibility of this being done to the entire film. Truly wild stuff. The tweet reads, "Credits to our artificial intelligence scientist, 10 gazillion IQ. He fixed The Little Mermaid and turned the woke actor into a ginger white girl." Woke there is being used as a stand-in for black, which is a fairly common thing among the reactionary crowd. You know, if you're white, you're just white, but if you're not white, you're political, you're woke. Coincidentally for them, wokeness is an evil force that's corrupting Western society, and they're trying to exterminate it. But I digress. Some pretty prominent YouTubers like Ava and Preach and The Quartering downplayed and even defended this more transparently racist example.
Wait, what? Hold on. I know this goofy ass leftist nigga is not saying that simply race swapping with AI, a character that was just race swapped, is racist. I know he's not. It doesn't matter if the person who did it posted some racist shit. It is not racist to race swap somebody that was just race swapped. What the fuck is this? How does that make sense? How does that make sense? I thought he was joking when he said shit like whitewashed. I thought he was joking. I thought he was kidding. What the fuck? Literally, white 1 second, black the next, but reverting them back to white is racist? That don't make no sense.
From the controversy.
Second side by side where they had replaced Halle Berry with some generic redhead. I get the meme, but I just knew that this was going to be this shot that sparked a billion reads. And within hours, both accounts were suspended off Twitter. Why? I don't know. I've been told by all the leftists out there that mermaids don't exist. And so the race of said mermaids is not relevant. So when you turn Ariel black, that's stunning a progressive. When you turn Ariel white, you're suspended.
To briefly address this just cowardly argument from
the Crash Bandicoot music is getting to me. What about it? If you say something bad about Crash Bandicoot, you can just leave, bro.
Here. No,
I'm keeping it honest with you. That shit was my childhood. You watch your steps.
Oh, mermaids aren't real, but Halle Bailey is. The video is whitewashing not just a character, but a real human being. The
brain AIDS! It's brain AIDS!
actor playing the character, making a real black human being white, and then saying that by doing this, you're fixing them is racist. Yes, that's
Yeah,
it.
I would agree. The post is racist. The act of changing them is not racist.
That is a racist.
So when people are like, yeah, don't get mad at the fact that somebody changed them back to white, yeah, correct. You're not getting mad at the right thing.
Racist thing to do. Sorry to break it to you this way, but don't know what else to call it, you know? So to return to this idea of bias.
How is the post racist? It implies, so the post isn't, well, hold on. Let me double check. I don't believe fixing is explicitly racist. I think, here, let's read the post. I don't think fixing is explicitly racist. I think the implication of this is pretty racist, though. Credits to our memer, artificial intelligence scientist, 10 quazillion IQ. He fixed The Little Mermaid and turned the woke actor into a ginger white girl. Like, the premise is that they fixed it by changing the woke. Literally, what Noah Samsen was true when he talked about woke being a sub thing for black, right? Turned the woke, the black character, into a ginger white girl. They fix it by changing her into a ginger white girl. He says he can do this with fix the whole movie when it comes out with the AX whatever shit in 24 hours. It's over for woke cells. Like, come on. Look at this. Literally, their description is I don't know what this is. Genetics, history, and shit posting. Like, listen, man, I'm not going to make assumptions, but Jesus Christ, man.
So when you turn Ariel black, that's
like, come on, bro. Like, it's probably like, let's not be weird about it. Shit has a bit of stink on it. So that's fine, but there's nothing wrong with race swapping them. Even if your intentions or whatever, if people want to watch a version of The Little Mermaid with a white actor, it's not whitewashing. That's cringe, bro. You're fucking cringe. Like, oh my God, bro. Are you serious? Like, how is it race swapping? Like, so hold on. Let me change the way that this works. When we're talking about whitewashing, what whitewashing to me is making the Black Panther white, not making a black character white. Okay? And that's what they did. They didn't change anything about the story. They didn't change anything. They literally were trying to use AI to just change the way that the Little Mermaid looked. Nigga, I don't care if they're Asian, bro. I don't give a fuck what they changed that shit to. That's what they're doing, right? When we're talking about whitewashing, we're talking about taking away something that is tangible, right? That is usable that is like a part of the character is their race. Like with Black Panther, like with, what is it? What is the fucking movie that recently came out? Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. If they made Shang-Chi in that movie fucking white, it's like, it's pretty integral to you not being white. Fucking, if they made, I don't know, you get the point, right? If they made these various characters that need to be a specific race because that's a part of the fucking story, white, that's whitewashing to me. Not just, hey, you race swapped the character to white. And that's all they did. Every time you scream, my ears bleed. It's time for you to turn down the volume. Isn't the ghost in the wall, or ghost in the shell whitewashing? I don't know. I've actually never seen the original or the new one, even though everybody says that shit is good. So I have no idea. I have no idea whether or not their race is integral to it. I know there was people who were mad.
Halle Bailey.
Django. Yeah, Django. If you make Django white, like if you make Django white, the movie don't make no sense, right? Movie doesn't make a damn lick of sense. You make Django white.
The video is whitewashing not just a character, but a real human being, the actor playing the character, making a real black human being white, and then saying that by doing this, you're fixing them is racist. Yes, that is a racist thing to do. Sorry to break it to you this way, but don't know what else.
So again, it's not necessarily racist because in regards to how people, like Patience was saying, like in regard to what Patience was saying, they would be fixing the character because the closest interpretation to what the character was is a fix to the character because that's what the character was. So I don't think fixing is what makes that racist. If the entire post was like, hey, buddy of mine figured out how to use artificial intelligence to be able to fix the movie. So that way the character looks as similar to its original look as possible. It's great. Even look, and I want somebody else or people to also notice something, that inside of this image, also, she has redder hair. Like, fixing the movie by including things like that. She has blue eyes, which is something that she had in the original film. So, yeah, like deeper blue eyes. So these are fixes to the thing that I don't think are necessarily racist, if put like that. Yeah, these are fixes.
Yes, that is a racist thing to do. Sorry.
Yeah, the hair needs to be more vibrant. I agree. I think this genuinely looks better than this. Her hair looks like trash. Her hair looks like garbage inside of the woke version, right? In this version, that shit looks real. I want the hair to look unrealistically like bright red. I want it to be like luminescent red.
To break it to you this way, but I don't know what
he's also cross-eyed. I don't really care about that.
Else to call it, you know? So to return to this idea of bias, does Patience engage with any of these examples of racism in her video? No, she doesn't. She doesn't even bring them up. And was this intentional?
Wait, what? What do you mean she doesn't bring them up? She addresses through the whole video about that.
I don't know. I'm not a mind reader. It's certainly possible that she just wanted to give her opinion on this topic, give voice to the points that she felt were underrepresented, and hadn't looked into any of these examples of racism. But what I do know is that without doing that, in this video, she is presenting a very biased view of this controversy, one that fails to accurately portray the opposing viewpoint that there may be some legitimate concern over the racist origins of this backlash. And so, what's the problem with all this then?
Well, wait. Okay, now I know this fool hasn't really watched her video. Her video isn't with whether or not there are some people that are being racist. It's about whether or not the bulk of the concern, or whether or not all of the concern for the change can be boiled down to racism. That was you're right. She wasn't trying to address that there might be some racists. I don't think she would deny it. And I imagine when we watch this video, her response, she's going to say exactly that. Yeah, absolutely. There's some racists that 100%, obviously. What she's going to say, maybe I'm wrong, but this was my interpretation, is that what she's saying is saying that everybody that opposes this change is racist is intellectually bankrupt, because it is. It is intellectually bankrupt. Like I said, between the two pictures, I prefer the one that is white. And the reason why is primarily because of the hair. That is the reason why. Because the hair looks like ass instead of the other picture. If they took the hair and they put it on the black chick, I'll be down. The hair, to me, is more critical to what The Little Mermaid is than anything else. I don't care about their race as much. I don't care about their eyes as much. I don't care about any of that shit. But if you want to talk about fixing in that context, the first image was way closer to the original source material. Blue eyes, white, that was original source material, and actually red hair. The other hair looks like brownish. I don't like it. I like the red. The unrealistically vibrant red hair is what the original fucking animated shit was. That's what it showed. Unrealistically red. Shit was like fucking deep red in the deep blue sea.
See, this sort of bias in online content.
That's my opinion. But I don't care too much about this. I'm not going to make like a fucking million Twitter posts or anything about this. But that's where I'm at. I consider the red hair far more integral to the character than anything else.
And is how echo chambers form. If an audience member is willing to take Patience at her word, willing to accept the assumption without evidence.
Also, Spyro's better than Crash Bandicoot? That's cringe, bro. Spyro's good, so I'm not... No disrespect there, but better than Crash Bandicoot? Bro, you had no childhood, bro.
That the mainstream media is calling everyone racist. Willing to believe that no race...
long silence, I recognize that. But I recognize that a lot of live action movies and shit like that don't have the vibrance of cartoons, obviously, because for it to be a cartoon, for cartoons it's more normal for that shit to happen. But for The Little Mermaid, this is for me personally, this is stylistically, me personally, The Little Mermaid's hair needs to be red and red always. Unless you want to do it for like one specific scene where she's like dying or something and it looks like her flame is dying out and you like make her hair like lose its redness to it. There you go, but like, no.
Racism is actually occurring, that everyone objecting to the casting is doing so for totally valid reasons, then it's possible that they already have some form of conservative bias or anti-woke disposition. Or if they don't, then this video and subsequent content that will get recommended to them, content that without evidence
Damn, you should write the movie.
Narrativizes about woke Disney and the epidemic of false racism accusations, that content will help them develop this conservative anti-woke disposition. And given that this video currently has a 99% like to dislike ratio and very little dissent in the comment section with thousands of comments praising Patience's nuance, this process may have already begun. I bring this up because, as I showed before, Patience is no fan of echo chambers, apparently. And if that is the case, then I'd assume she would like her audience to evaluate her presentation with a critical eye and challenge her when important context is absent from her analysis. I also bring it up mainly because, to be honest, I see a lot of myself in this video. In the past, I've made content that has relied on certain assumptions formed through my own bias towards leftist politics. And believe it or not, it's actually pretty easy to grow on YouTube without ever having to recognize that that's what's going on.
Really? I never would have thought that leftists could grow without recognizing the biases that they perform inside of their media and content generation. Damn, I should really look at past and present and future content with that kind of eye. Maybe there's a culture of leftists. No, there's no way there could be a culture of leftists doing this, right? Nah, it's all in my head. It's just a one-off thing.
Without ever having to learn how to adequately present and engage with opposing arguments.
Really? I don't think so.
Granted, I feel like there's some room for that on the more entertainment-focused YouTube space. Sometimes you just want to clown on some weirdos without having to constantly articulate what makes them weirdos, and I think that's totally valid. However, once things enter the political realm, as I feel that they have in this video, with it being a discussion of race and ethics and...
Rico's wise. I wonder if debate could help examine your biases. Nah, debate is for cringe liberal weirdos and Nazis. But they're one and the same. So, yeah. Couldn't be.
Media, I feel like this kind of stuff is important. And while true nuance is definitely a difficult thing to achieve, there's a certain low bar to even meet the definition of the word nuance that isn't being cleared here, in my opinion. But yeah, okay, that's enough about nuance and bias. Let's now look at some of the main points Patience raises in her video in closer detail. And we'll do that right after a quick word from today's video sponsor, Scentbird. Hey everybody, do you like smells? Do you like going 5% off your first month? Its casting decision is erasing redhead representation.
As Hollywood strives to become more inclusive, they've decided that red-haired female characters are going to be their collateral damage. Every time we have new black representation, we lose red-haired white women's representation. Leave the redheads alone, allow the redheads to keep their representation, and create new black Disney princesses.
And right off the bat, I do find this point strange, because in this new trailer, I'm almost positive that Ariel has red hair. Like she has the hair.
Oh, it looks so bad.
It's reddish orange.
It looks so bad. It looks so bad.
Hair, I think.
To be fair, it looks real. Right? It does. It looks like somebody with real red hair under the water. But it looks so bad.
Fair though, this trailer was color graded like an episode of Mindhunter for some reason, so it is possible that Patience assumed that her hair is light brown, which, okay, that's fair, I suppose. Let's just move forward as if that's the case. One of the things that really stood out to me when she was talking about redhead erasure was a hypothetical blonde Ariel situation.
I love Mindhunter. Mindhunter's a phenomenal show. Absolutely incredible.
I can promise you right now, if they had recast Ariel as a blonde girl, people would have been just as upset. It's got nothing to do with the fact that the new Ariel is black. It's everything to do with the fact that the new Ariel doesn't look like the original.
Now, are there redheads out there that would have been upset about a blonde Ariel? sure.
I would have been upset about a blonde Ariel. I don't give a fuck about this movie at all. I will not watch this movie. The only way that I watch this movie is if I watch the deepfake AI regeneration of the movie, and not just for the red hair, but so that way I can see how far that AI generation has come and how good that nigga is at remastering a movie. That would be the only reason I would ever watch this fucking movie. I do not care, but I do care if Ariel has red hair. I do. I think that shit is integral. That shit is cringe to change that.
Of course there are. But disgruntled redheads aren't the ones driving this backlash. Conservative influencers are, and none of them have red hair. The whole narrative here is supposed to be that Disney is going woke by pandering for minority representation. Patience brings up this point a number of times in the video.
Just so they can do their performative pandering.
And like, performative pandering doesn't really work if you make your characters Aryan. If anything, the racist people we looked at earlier would love that. They used artificial intelligence to fix a real black actor by making her white. So like, why stop at the skin? Make her blonde, make her...
Wait. Just to be clear, they didn't just stop at the skin. They went with the skin, they went with the lips, like the color of the lips, they went with the color of the eyes, and they went with the color of the hair. So this is why when under the context of fixed, I don't think the fixed is the racist part. I think the fixed is accurate. It is true. This is closer to the original character that most people grew up with and loved rather than this. But that doesn't mean this is like bad. It's just different. And when shit gets different, niggas get mad. It happens. And I think she was right about that inside of the original video. When shit gets different, people get mad.
Black actor by making her white. So like, why stop at the skin? Make her blonde.
It is bad though. I don't think, like, when I say I don't think it's bad, what I'm trying to say is I don't think it's like objectively bad. It's just not my speed.
Make her eyes blue while you're at it. Tattoo a swastika onto the frog.
What the fuck? You think making her eyes blue? Whatever.
Or the most vocal of those yelling about this trailer, the hair isn't the problem. The problem is race. It's the perceived threat against the...
Listen to this. How are you... Oh my God. How is he deciding for everyone that this is the problem? Like, he's doing the same thing that he blamed her for doing. Show me everyone that agrees with you, because that's what his statement is. And if that isn't what his statement is, that's what her statement is. Like, I don't know what to say. Her statement is that there is a large, sizable portion of people that are upset at the change, not the fact that, oh, they hate the black people so much. They're upset at the change, the difference. That's what they're upset about, right? That's her point. Not even, and I imagine when we get to this video, I could be wrong, and I'm ready to eat my words. But I imagine when we get to this video, she's going to say the same thing. Of course there's racist people supporting this. But the statement that, hey, if you disagree with this change, you're racist, which he is massively playing into right now when he's just making inaccurate statements, is the issue. That's why I hate Noah Samsen, man. This nigga's stupid.
Preservation of whiteness. And what I find especially odd here is this insinuation that redhead representation is somehow more important than black representation. And no, Patience doesn't ever say this.
What are we doing? Are we trading in our fucking representation Pokemon cards? What the fuck is going on, man? Why? What is this plot? You wrote that down, bro. You wrote that down. Really?
Outright, and I don't think she'd necessarily agree with it on its own. However, is that not the implication here? Redheads make up 1 to 2% of the population, less than 1/10 of the Black American population. Statistically speaking, they've actually been overrepresented in much of the media over the years. And if we contrast that with the historical underrepresentation of Black people in Hollywood roles by way of racist exclusion, the countless examples of Hollywood's whitewashing of non-white characters, and blackface, of course, there's that. Justifying the backlash here in the name of representation doesn't make any sense. Not unless one of those forms of representation is more important than the other. Thankfully though, woke Disney isn't pitting these groups against one another, because as we looked at before, she has red hair in the trailer, and in a way
that looks a lot better. Hold up.
Groups against one another, because as we looked at before, she has red.
Yeah, that looks a lot better. That hair looks a lot better to me. yeah, that looks a lot better. It's not like great. I want it to look a little bit differently, but I think I can meet that a little bit halfway. This looks a lot more red than the other one.
Hair in the trailer, and in a way I feel like that's what makes this casting kind of an interesting case of representation, right? Like a black actor.
Dreads? I don't care about the type of hair that much. I don't think that matters that much.
With red hair is a synthesis in some sense of these two minority identities. For the young redheads who saw themselves in the 1989 Ariel, Bailey has red hair too. Can they not?
Oh, you're so stupid. Oh my god. Oh god. Why can't black women feel a emotional attachment to white women with black hair? If you're a black girl with black hair and you see a white girl with black hair, surely you should be able to feel just as attached to that character. Hoo-hoo. Like, holy fuck, you are stupid. Oh my god.
Not see themselves?
Oh wow, I can, bro, I can. Bro, I have brown eyes. Hey, this white dude on screen has brown eyes. We're the same. Let's go. Representation, bro. Let's go. I like it how, in one sense, he's saying it's important for this character to be black because black women need a role model and that representation is important. And then he's also, in the other sense, like, you white bitches with red hair that are upset about the character no longer being white. I mean, who cares? They still have red hair. The fuck? They still got red hair. Why are you upset? It's like, wait, so it's important for black women to get that representation of them being black, but it's not important for white women for them to be what? What? That don't make no sense. But okay, all right. So the actual correct answer, again, when you have, cognition and you're able to think for yourself, the right answer is, yeah, you could feel upset about the fact that the Little Mermaid is no longer white with red hair, but instead black with red hair. That's something that you could feel something about. I even, like people in the chat were saying, I could even submit to the idea. I don't know, do they actually have dreads? I don't know if that was just like camera shit or what, but let's assume they have dreads. I even think it would be okay for you to be upset about them having dreads because red hair, straight hair, whatever. Like non-dread hair. That's fine. If that's something that's not dreads, I don't know what it is. People kept saying it, so I've just fucking said it, bro. But either way, right? I have no problem with people having every single attachment, like Patience said. I have no problem with people that get attached to the minutia of every single fucking detail of this character. I have no problem with that. You can be upset about any change to this character. What I don't like is the excuses for how the character is perfect and that if you are upset about it, well, she's got red hair. No, don't make excuses like that. No. Right? Don't make excuses. It is fine to be upset about it. And here he is like, well, they still got red hair. Fucking stupid. Don't be dumb.
Represented in this new Ariel, or does she need to be white for that to happen? And if she does, that's like a great opportunity for us to look inward and try and understand what that is. What is it about
Listen, look at him.
whiteness that we are trying to protect, that we need in order to still enjoy this story? The second major point that Patience raises in defense of the backlash over this casting is that of sentimentality. Humans are sentimental creatures, she says, and we don't appreciate it when our art and characters are changed to be different from how we remember them.
So the first explanation is that human beings are just very sentimental creatures. We build attachments to people, to things, and also to fictional characters.
She gives plenty of examples, like backlash in the Twilight fandom when it was announced that Robert Pattinson had been cast as Edward, as well as backlash over various recastings from TV shows over the years and from the recent character redesign of Bob the Builder. And sure, these are all things that happen, right? Fandom backlash is fairly common, and the examples she gives are indicative of the types of attachments that we form to the characters that we enjoy. However, I feel like these examples don't really track here. For one thing, similarly to the redhead erasure point, the backlash to Bailey's casting is not being driven by the sentimental Ariel fandom. It's being driven by, well, racist internet trolls and amplified.
Like this is what I mean, dude. He's just assuming. How did you address the problem that I agree even she had inside of the original video and then run into it yourself? You are making the assumption. I agree she didn't address the fact that she didn't address the racist people enough inside of that original video. But then this guy is doing the exact thing she was saying, where he's just assuming that everyone that is fucking disagreeing with is fucking racist. He's just assuming it. It's not different. There is a lot of people that are upset at Ariel changing because they are upset at change.
Conservative influencers.
Do you think they're going to change the character back to white later? There is less than 0% chance that happens. There is literally less than... You can quote me. If they change that character back to white, the amount of backlash that they will get, that they are like bowing down to Nazi sympathizers and shit, is insane. Which again goes straight to Patient's point. All right? I don't know. This guy... He is running the same issue where he's like, dude, the idea that 99% of this criticism isn't racist is insane to me. And then Patience is like, the idea that 99% of this criticism is racist is insane to me. And then he's like, well, she's not addressing the racism problem. Like, what are you saying, bro? What are you saying, dude? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, dude?
Conservative influencers who do not give a fuck about The Little Mermaid, sorry to say. Matt Walsh, Candace Owens, The Quartering, and so on. None of these people had ever talked about The Little Mermaid before this trailer dropped.
Wow, that's crazy that they weren't talking about a 30-year-old movie, nigga!
If there's some major backlash among the
Wow, dude, hey, anybody want to just randomly talk about some fucking ancient-ass movie that came out before you were born? Anybody want to just have a casual conversation about that? Yeah, let's just randomly talk about that shit in the middle of nowhere. Oh, a movie comes out? Now's the time, according to Noah Samsen. I did the legwork to be able to complain about this shit. Are you fucking kidding me, nigga? That's insane. You just said that.
Fandom that I'm missing. I'm happy to be proven wrong about that, but from here it seems that this
Budget Hassan, bro, this is Goodwill Hassan, man.
appeal to sentimentality is being utilized by these trolls and right-wing culture war manufacturers. Like, if you're someone who's sentimental about the old Ariel, no, I don't think that on its own makes you racist.
Wow, that's crazy! It's almost like that was the whole point of her fucking video, saying that there was a lot of people that were sentimental about the original product, and that this is a story as old as time! Everyone gets sentimental with every fucking character, especially a character that's older than most of the people complaining! Literally, that was the plot! Holy shit! Oh my god, this dude is dumb. He didn't even watch the fucking video.
However, if it doesn't concern you that this appeal to sentimentality is being co-opted by many for racist ends, then...
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. You mean to tell me that people's sentimental values about something is being co-opted by another political group for stupid shit? That's crazy. That's never happened before. ACAB. Oh, that's never happened before. White people talking some stupid shit about cops. That's crazy. I imagine I can never find a tweet of you talking shit about cops. Noah Samsen in some crooked ass fucking way. Oh, BLM shit. Oh no, bro. That's never co-opted by white niggas. I don't know anything about this. Never heard of it. Never heard of that. That's crazy, bro.
I don't know. You know, it should.
That's crazy. It's almost like just because a position is co-opted, that doesn't mean that the entire group of people that are complaining is racist or bigoted. Or on that ACAB shit that I have to dig myself out of every time a white person starts talking about cops. And then the data comes out, oop, black people fucking hate ACAB, oop. Black people actually don't hate all cops, oop. And you're our representation online, and I have to fight out of the trenches to get out of this shit. It happens with everything. It happens with everything. That's how it goes. But it is a loud minority. There's a lot of people that are just upset that Ariel changed. Now, Do I have figures? Do I have numbers? No, but neither do you. Right? But to just assume the 3 million people that downvoted on that video were just all racist is insane to me. Insane to me. Especially when they went very liberal with some of the changes that they made.
Also, just kind of a side note here, but Ariel's original voice actor from the 1989 film, Jodie Benson, did give her blessing on the casting. And, you know,
Okay.
that's got to count for something.
Does it really count for fucking anything? What does that even matter?
Among the fandom,
I guess it would matter. No, I don't know why this fucking matters.
right? Because that's their lady. So Patience's conclusion in this video is that instead of race swapping these characters, we need more black stories. Stop the pandering remakes and make new, good,
He has to agree with this, right?
non-white centered stories instead.
I do agree that representation matters, and I think it is beautiful to see the reactions of young black girls seeing themselves represented as Disney princesses. And I think they should absolutely have that, but it should be done properly. And this isn't the way to do it properly.
This is by far the best reason one could give for disagreeing with Bailey's casting. It's the most popular reason, found in plenty of other YouTube videos and many comment sections. And it's also, I think, profoundly unconvincing. While I completely agree that we do need more stories like this conclusion represents a false dichotomy. They're saying that instead of Black Ariel, we need more black stories, but the obvious question in response to that is, why not both? Disney has been...
Because one is lazy cash grab that is obvious that they're apparently, and I've seen this before, I don't know if they're doing that with The Little Mermaid, they're using to be able to deflect criticism like they have done in the past with several different fucking movies or TV shows where they use minority representation to try and deflect criticism. Like, shit is lazy. Shit is uninspired, and it is obviously done for clicks and views. It is lazy. It is bad. My opinion, right? Am I going to say that it has to be stopped? No. But it's fucking lazy and uninspired. That's just what it is.
Remaking their old films in live action format
Most people just don't like to change, but when you call them racist, you drive them to listen to people who correctly push back against that accusation. Noah's creating the thing he is mad at? Yes. His argument would be that other Disney cash grabs didn't get the same pushback as this particular movie. Wait, like which one? Wait, like which?
For a while now. And while yes, many, if not most of them are trash, the live action Little Mermaid was inevitable. It was going to be made regardless of who was playing Ariel. And of course it's not out yet, so it may not even be trash, but having a black lead in a movie that is 100% going to get made doesn't like delete the script of a different original black-centered story from Disney's Google Docs, right? No, that is not what happens. The movie's already being made. Backlash over bad Disney remakes doesn't have to mean backlash over this casting, but they are being grouped together here, and you don't have to look far to figure out why. Another question I have about...
Why? So, oh my god, how has he not realized what he's doing? He's literally Pepe posting the entire time. The entire time he's saying, if you oppose this, it's because you're racist. Every single moment that he is getting the opportunity to, he is either fucking Pepe posting, dog whistling, or just straight up saying, you are racist if you oppose this change. And he explicitly was trying to say, yeah, I'm not saying that, but he is doing it throughout the entire fucking video. Through the entire video, he is saying you are racist if you oppose this change. Not that you're sentimental or whatever. Oh my god.
This conclusion here is like, were you at...
Most Disney movies are lazy remakes, but don't have three. No. It's not about just being a lazy remake, because this movie isn't just a lazy remake. That's the first mistake that also he made. It's a lazy remake with lazy recasting. That's the issue, right? Lazy recasting that they're certainly going to, and I imagine if I look it up, they probably already have used, like Noah Samsen is using right now, right? Use this to deflect criticism of the movie. Right? It'll be like, oh yeah, a bunch of the people that hate the movie are just racist. They're not comfortable with the lead. Look at these old posts that came out before the thing. And now granted, There are absolutely going to be, like what I talked about earlier with the Star Wars trilogy, right? There's going to be fucking loser degenerates that are a loud minority that say that the movie was bad because of the black lead. There are going to be people who say that because they went woke. And they fucked it up because they went woke. There's going to be people that do that, just like they did that with Star Wars. Fucking degenerates are going to do that. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a lot of people that are sentimental about shit and just don't like change. I think Patience did a really good job of pointing that out. That just assuming, like Noah Samsen has done this entire video, her whole point is the assumption that it is racist, that the person is racist for being sentimental about the way Ariel looks, including her race, is just ridiculous. Because you should be able to give them the benefit of the doubt until proven otherwise. And the examples that Noah Samsen brought up, some of them absolutely are racist. I agreed with the Twitter post that he showed that person was almost certainly racist. Yeah, 100%. But the assumption that Noah Samsen has been doing this entire time was exactly Patience's point, which makes me think one of two things. Either Noah Samsen didn't watch the video or is too dumb to get the video. To be honest, it might be both.
Asking
as the section of the video says, right here at the bottom left, why not both?
for black stories before this controversy. Not even Patience necessarily, right? But any of these media people, the primary sources of this backlash. Are we really supposed to believe that they care about black stories? I think, and maybe this is just a hot take, but I think they don't care. They don't care at all, not one bit. And the reason for that
That's crazy, because I care about the like button, and I care about you guys smashing that like button. And any donations you guys might have would be much appreciated as well, because I am currently trying to save up a significant amount of cash to be able to afford a coding boot camp, because I'm trying to get into the world of programming. It's going pretty well for me off stream. I'm putting a lot of hours in, a lot of time in. I'm in the process of shadowing somebody who is actively doing the job. So I'm going to be, seeing what they do on a day-to-day basis on top of coding in my free time. So I'm pretty serious about it. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm pretty serious about it. I have a lot of people, not only from stream, but also in my personal life, that have reached out to me, giving me advice on how to go through the recruiting process, like the hiring process, interviewing process, about how to, what courses to do to make sure I don't get scammed when it comes to the boot camp, to pick the best boot camp for my dollar and shit like that. So yeah, it's been a very fun, enjoyable experience.
Well, the only time they seem to talk about it is when the sanctity of...
Did you already get in contact with Yappy? He's currently doing CS stuff. Maybe nice to have somebody... I actually haven't, but I probably should, yeah.
white characters is being threatened.
Who are you shadowing, and how'd you get into that position? I just know somebody who's doing it, and I'm just going to be looking at what he does on a day-to-day basis. I'm not going to say who, because I'm not sure he would want me to. Hey, thank you for the $5, Tomato Brew.
By wokeness. Wokeness being, again, black people, black actors. That's what they mean when they say it. They pull out their what if Black Panther was white trap card, their racist black James Bond impressions, only when they feel like their white identity is being erased or replaced. Perhaps many of the people coming to
I'm actually going to say it. I think this dude is terminally online. I think that's what he is. I think that's the problem. Is he's terminally online, and he's not being human. He's being human to one group of people, the young black women who can feel something tangible about now having a character that looks like them. He's empathizing with that, but he's not empathizing with the group of people that might be upset at a character that they've experienced for 20 or 30 years changing. It's like, oh no, if you feel like the character that you've experienced for 20 or 30 years first coming to the silver screen in live action format, if you had an attachment to that character in every single way that it was represented, including its race, then that just makes you racist. Like, there's no empathy. But I'm not racist for liking it when they change black? Like, think about that. I'm not racist because I like that the character becomes black, but you're racist for not liking it. It's just cringe. Like, it's just absolutely cringe.
this conclusion, evidenced in the comments, do actually care and do want to see more standalone.
As a black person, a black James Bond just isn't right, to be honest. I completely disagree. I think a black James Bond would be based. I don't think there's anything about James Bond that isn't integral to being, or is integral to being white, right? And so I think it can be done. Is it going to upset a lot of people? Yeah. But, hey, man, I think it'd be cool.
Diverse Hollywood films. I really have no reason to believe that they don't. However, it is frustrating, right? Because clearly these desires, many of them genuine, have been taken advantage of in this backlash. They've been co-opted by people who definitely don't care about black stories and used as a thin mask to hide their racist dog whistling. And I just want more people to understand that that is what's going on. That is what you're propping up when you use this argument against the casting of a black actor.
No, oh my God, no, you're not. No, you're not. To say that that's intrinsically... well, I mean, that was her point. She'll respond to it. I'm done responding to it. I put my 2 cents
At the end of the video, Patience makes an appeal to the black people who celebrate this casting. Demand more from these filmmakers. Don't let them pander to you by cheaply race-swapping remakes.
To the black people who celebrate these race swaps, I really would like you to demand more from these filmmakers, because if they can use their creativity and be original when they write stories like Moana or write stories like Encanto, then why do you not demand the same for your own black representation?
What's really wild about this point to me is the assumption that the people celebrating more black representation in media, like Bailey playing Ariel, aren't also advocating for more standalone black stories. That there are droves of black people who want...
Wait, oh my God, there legitimately is. There's people that are satisfied with these race swaps, and if you are, that's fine. But I do agree with the idea of making more original stories is a great thing to do. I like the original... I like the idea of them making original stories and characters. But there absolutely are people that are satisfied with just race swaps. That's part of the reason why they do it. Noah Samsen doesn't realize, like, they're not... companies don't just race swap people just cause. They race swap people because people are more satisfied with that being the case. There are going to be more people who buy it. And then there's going to be more people that are, like, satisfied with saying, oh, yeah, Disney's a woke company. And, like, walk home at the end of the day not really complaining about anything. Like, it satisfies them. It's not like it's just, oh, yeah, that's nice. And then they keep protesting for more of these things. No. Maybe the, again, terminally online ones are, but a lot of, like, normal people are not.
Representation at the expense of new original stories. I don't agree with that assumption, not one bit. I think it's a bad assumption. Again, we return to this question
of... Wait, he's making an unproven assumption as well.
Why can't we have both of these things? Seeing as Patience didn't raise any mermaid race science arguments or stringent false defenses of the whiteness of Danish folklore as we've seen elsewhere, I am left with no other questions than GIF. Play the GIF. Play the GIF, please. Why not both? Why not? Alright, so to just bring things back into perspective here, I don't believe this video to be necessarily actively harmful in and of itself. Patience does strike me as someone with genuine beliefs, and her intent here seems to be giving voice to the more benign points regarding the need for proper representation. Points that may have been wrongfully grouped in with the more overtly racist backlash. I think the comment section shows this, with many of the people in there echoing her conclusion that they really just want to see more unique non-white stories. However, by glossing over the actual nuance of this situation, by failing to include any of the very visible examples of racism that drove this backlash, and by giving in to the false framing that this casting is somehow at odds with standalone non-white centric films, I do think that this video serves to normalize white supremacist rhetoric in a way that might not be intended. Most of the points being raised here are fine when made in a vacuum. However, when they're made in opposition to the casting of a black actor in a white fish character role, their most visible function is to validate racism, to validate those who want to protect whiteness as an identity, to defend the cultural hegemony of white supremacy.
Dude, Disney is fucking laughing it up right now. This is exactly what they wanted. Because they know, Disney knows exactly what they're doing. They know millions of people are going to be mad at a character changing. And they're like, what's the best way to get free advertising on this? Well, we know they're going to get mad at the character changing, but what if we make it so that way they get in trouble if they get mad at it? And then they look over That's fucking genius. We just changed the character to be black. We know niggas are gonna get mad. When they get mad, people are gonna call them racist. And when people get called racist, they get even more mad. Genius. 100% that it went down that way. I do not buy any reality it didn't go down that way.
Supremacy. Not to mention unfairly denigrate an actor who, at least according to the people that actually made the film, absolutely earned this role. Veritas Joe, aka Joey, just released a great video on this same topic of race swapping discourse, and he made a really good point that I want to share, which is that no matter how much these chuds doth protest, there's no such thing as reverse whitewashing.
But when a character is white, that usually means their race does not have any meaningful tie to the character at all. They just so happen to be white, and a different version of them losing said whiteness doesn't really take anything away from them. Conversely, if a character was black and the race was changed, that would be racial representation. I don't know how many fucking times I gotta say this, but the roles cannot be reversed. The edits are different because we don't—
Wait, this is just not true. This is not a true statement. This is only true of what I would say are poorly written black characters. And then, of course, yeah, fucking race swap them because they're a poorly written black character. In most scenarios. In most scenarios, this is only true of characters that, like, what they said was true about white people, which is most of the time white people are just white. And there is no connection between the race and the character. However, there is a complaint that a lot of, not actually racist people make, is that when a black character is black, it's because they're black and they had to be because they're hood and they're whatever shit. Whereas, like, a lot of people just want characters to just be black. They want characters the same way white characters are white. They just want characters to be black. It's just like, it's a black dude, or it's a nerd who does a lot of computer shit or whatever, and he just happens to be black. That's it, right? A good example of this was, there was a really good example of this that I had recently, where it was like, I know there's examples, but I had one. It was a really good one. That, Spawn is black and hardly anyone knows. Right. I'm not saying that there's no reality where you can point to somebody's race on something. But, like, for instance, Ned. Ned from, I think his name is Ned, from Spider-Man. Right? Who's that guy? He's Asian, right? Like, he's vibing. He's just Ned. You know? He's just fucking Ned. Like, why can't we have more Neds?
refer to them as being fixed or better or official. They're just edits.
I assumed Hawaiian? Yeah, maybe he was Hawaiian. I don't fucking know. I don't remember what he looks like. But there was a better example that I'm having trouble remembering. There was an example of a character that was really, really good, where their like attribute didn't define them. That's what I'm talking about. Is when like a character's disability or something on a show is their whole personality, and it defined them. Fuck, it's escaping me. But there was some recent examples of it being pretty good.
Serious, unless you need to deep fake a whole character to make
Hawaii, my bad.
her white. Let me repeat that. Unless you need to deep fake a whole character to make her white. I just don't understand it.
This is a genuinely brilliant video. I'll leave it linked below. But like, okay, my fear here is that videos like this open up the possibility, not just ideologically, but algorithmically, that people may be swayed into far-right thinking by starting with this seemingly innocuous interpretation of an anti-black controversy. Upon hearing this take from a creator who is co-opting the aesthetics of nuance without actually functionally providing that nuance, viewers may be pushed into anti-woke and eventually far-right echo chambers without realizing it until it's too late. If your content leans anti-woke, it's only a matter of time before YouTube plugs you in with some of the channels that we looked at today, enmeshing audiences that fit into this anti-woke disposition, all of whom love to hear these points get raised. You can't say anything these days, they'll cancel you for it. Feminists are causing problems again. Oh no. Is the internet really defending fat people that squished a conservative influencer on a plane? These all strike me as signifiers of a very well-established way to grow on YouTube, a very lucrative way to grow on YouTube. And I don't know, you know, it worries me a little bit because this ecosystem of content—
Wait, is he not the same exact thing but on the left? What is he criticizing them for?
It thrives.
He's literally in this social... he realizes he's occupying the single best, like, political and economic, what am I looking for? The statement he just made about her is more true for him than any other group of people. The left, being a socialist, pseudo-socialist, anti-capitalist lefty like he is the safest, most lucrative political online thing that you can do right now, next to, like, the red pill. So I have no idea who the hell he's talking to.
On the death of nuance.
He is doing it more so than she is.
It requires a nebulous other to be blamed for the decline of modern society. Whether that's feminism, cultural Marxism, or woke Disney, that's been the case on YouTube for a long time, and this strikes me as just history repeating itself. But yeah, that's just what I think. Perhaps you disagree. You can let me know in the comments what you think about it. Thanks for watching. Thanks again to Scentbird for sponsoring.
All right.
Welcome back to my channel.
We're gonna have
so
to 1.5
today's
X's.
video is an interesting one. So this video is going to be a response to the response made to me by Noah Samsen. So some interesting things have transpired.
So now this is a reaction to a response to a response to response.
Over the last couple of days, I have had Noah's fans come over to my channel and insult me, as well as one calling me a Nazi, which was interesting. I have no idea what history book you had, but from the one that I had, black people were in the camps, not the ones guarding the camps. So I am confused as to how I could be a Nazi. But anyways, I thought it'd be interesting for us to take a look at Noah's video to kind of understand why this has happened. So the video that Noah is responding to in his response to me is my Little Mermaid video. So let's begin.
So in this video, Patience raises a number of points in support of her.
Should I have watched the react? I feel like I should have just... Nah, I probably should, so that way I can understand whether or not she's misrepresenting this. I'm sorry, but...
main thesis, that the backlash over Halle Bailey's casting as Ariel in the live-action Little Mermaid is, for the most part, justified. It's not motivated by racism, but by a number of valid reasons, which she goes on to outline.
There are some people who believe that simply providing an explanation for something automatically means that you are justifying it, which is false. Just because I simply provide other explanations as to why people are upset with the race swap does not automatically mean that I'm justifying it.
Her conclusion, which is framed as a compromise of sorts, is that we need more standalone non-white stories instead of recasting white roles with non-white actors. Throughout this video, Patience describes how this controversy over race swapping is...
God damn it, my mother's confused. Give me a second. Give me a moment. Yep, sorry about that.
It's not getting the nuance it deserves. She laments the way that the mainstream discourse surrounding it is driven by those who are labeling everyone that disagrees as racist. One question that I think is important we ask here, though, is this what's really going on? And if it is, who is saying this? Who is labeling everyone as racist?
That would be you, Noah, and also people who think like you, because later on in your video, you say this.
The backlash to Bailey's casting is not being driven by the sentimental...
Oh my god! How can you make this conservative chick look so fucking smart? Dude, I can't believe how dumb you are. Oh my god! Imagine, this is what I'm talking about. I would farm these goofy ass kids for every single dollar in their fucking pocket if I was a fucking conservative, dude. How can, dude, listen, I'm not saying this chick isn't smart because she's a conservative. I actually, I'm not a fucking degenerate, so I can recognize that conservatives can make good points. But Jesus Christ, no conservative should be winning against somebody that's on my side of the political spectrum if they know what the fuck they're talking about. No chance they should be doing that. And the fact that they're even entertaining that idea is fucking ridiculous to me. What a loving son. Thank you for the $5, Simply Joe.
Ariel fan.
Simple Joe, excuse me.
It's being driven by, well, racist internet trolls.
So I guess you've answered...
Is she a conservative? Oh, dude, yeah, have you seen her fucking videos, bro? Like, if she isn't a conservative, bro, like, come on. Let's be honest. So now we're canceling words and phrases. This isn't conservative. YouTubers getting squashed on it. This is her defending this chick, which is conservative. You're not allowed dating preferences on TikTok. It's a more conservative take, but I agree with it. speaks on racism, but was it actually racism? Like, it's definitely, and again, I'm not trying to judge her specifically on this. Maybe I would agree with her in this video, like I agreed with this. But she's definitely more conservative. She's almost certainly conservative. Comedians making fun of feminism. I'm assuming this is her laughing at it. Our society is full of hypocrisy. Her talking about this shit. Like, a lot of these things I agree with, but I don't know. Maybe I'm too quick to call her a conservative, but I feel almost certain that if I went through this, she's probably pretty conservative. A lot of the things that she chooses to talk about is like stuff the left gets wrong. Like, I haven't seen very many where the right goes wrong videos. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I talk about how conservatives are wrong, but, you know. Like, where is the anti-conservative videos? You know what I'm talking about? But anyway.
Your own question.
One of the most
centrist, I guess. Yeah, maybe. I probably shouldn't say conservative, especially without watching.
widely criticized examples of the sort of racism here was when a Twitter account used artificial intelligence to make Halle Bailey white. They CGI whitewashed a clip from the trailer. Many celebrated the work, hyping up the possibility of this being done to the entire film. Truly wild stuff. The tweet reads, "Credits to our artificial intelligence scientist, 10 gazillion IQ. He fixed The Little Mermaid and turned the woke actor into a ginger white girl." Woke there is being used as a stand-in for black, which is a fairly common thing among the reactionary crowd. You know, if you're white, you're just white, but if you're not white, you're political, you're woke.
Is that an American thing? Because when he said this, I was really confused, because he's basically essentially saying that woke means black, as if to say that woke is a synonym for black.
Come on, man. You can't. How is Noah Samsen taking an L here? There's no way you're about to make the argument that woke was not a stand-in for black there. Like, really? Okay. Patience. What is woke about the new Little Mermaid? What is woke about it? Take a guess. Chat, if you had to guess, what is woke about the new Little Mermaid? One thing. If you had to guess one thing.
As far as I'm aware, that has never been the case. Even when
you can be a conservative without being a Nazi? Yeah, obviously. Most conservatives are... Well, I would say you're not a conservative if you're a Nazi. You're a fucking Nazi. But yeah, I would say most conservatives aren't even fascist.
Woke does originate from black Americans because they used to use it to describe a state of mind.
She's
so if you were woke, it meant that you were aware of injustices. Like, it's almost as if like your third eye opened, if you will. Like, you could see the unseen. In modern time, it's kind of moved on to mean a variety of different things, not just issues pertaining to black people and racial topics. But I have never ever known the word woke to ever be a synonym for black. So I have to ask my American audience, is that an American thing, or is that just a Noah thing?
I feel like she's being obtuse.
Because where is that coming from?
If an audience member is willing to take Patience at her word, willing to accept the assumption without evidence that the mainstream media is calling everyone racist, willing to believe that no racism is actually occurring, that everyone objecting to the casting is doing so for totally valid reasons, then it's possible that they already have some form of conservative bias or anti-woke disposition. That content will help them develop this conservative anti-woke disposition.
This is the first time that Noah reveals his true intentions with this video, when he starts to mention things like conservatism and how he dislikes people who have anti-woke rhetoric. Because I truly believe this video has nothing to do with Ariel and nothing to do with black representation. I think that what Noah truly cares about is politics.
If an audience member is willing to take Patience...
Wait, but politics... What? But politics has to do with that.
At her word, willing to accept the assumption without evidence that the mainstream media is calling everyone racist.
Without evidence, you know, that's the key point to remember there. There's no evidence, even though I do show Trevor Noah at the beginning of my video saying that everyone who has an issue with it is racist. Not only that, everyone who has a smartphone and has social media would have seen the discourse that was happening around The Little Mermaid. And they know that the vast majority of people were saying that people were angry because they were racist. I don't understand why Noah's trying to gaslight me here and trying to say that that didn't happen. So none of you saw the people saying that the people who hate this race swap are racist. None of you saw that? Because according to Noah, that didn't happen. And Noah, I would appreciate it if you would make up your mind, because in one breath you're saying that no one is accusing those who are outraged by this race swap of being racist, but yet simultaneously, remember, you said this?
The backlash to Bailey's casting is not being driven by the sentimental Ariel fandom. It's being driven by, well, racist.
Yeah, this nigga's cooked. Give me... I actually think I might have to go, unfortunately. Something is happening in my real life that actually requires my attention. I will end up watching this tomorrow and then combining it into a YouTube video. So, editor, get ready to combine this VOD with another one. I'm sorry, I do have to go. There is a bit of a family emergency that happened. So we're gonna get that settled. Okay? I apologize, but I do have to go. Okay? You guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you for the donos. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for staying with me and enjoying some of this brain melting content. And we will watch some of it tomorrow, as much as I don't want to do that. Okay. You guys have a good rest of your